Okay, so the urinary system cleans wastes out of the blood. It acts like a what? It acts like a filter. What organs in the urinary system are the filters? Summer? The kidneys, which you should see a picture of a kidney on your notes. That is one big filter. It's actually better than any filter you can buy at the store. Let's quickly brainstorm what type of filters you buy at the store and use at home. You give me one.
Pool filter.
A pool filter. Haley. For your water? Yes. A coffee filter.
Oil.
An oil filter.
Fuel filter.
An air filter. All of those things filter whatever, your water, your air, your oil, your pool, so that they run smoother and that whatever comes out of them is cleaner and more efficient or easier to breathe, better to drink. It takes the bad stuff out. So your kidneys take the bad stuff out. Your body produces wastes and toxins, and you have excess water, and that needs to go out of your body. But your kidneys do another thing too. They also have to decide what stays in. So there's a fine balance, and I'll show you exactly where in the kidney this stuff gets balanced, and maybe you'll be able to see a little bit how it balances it to figure out what stays and what goes. All right, the objectives for this lesson: to tell you the parts and functions of the urinary system, explain how the kidneys filter blood, and describe some disorders associated with the urinary system. The urinary system contains organs that remove waste products from your blood. Okay, one of the organs in the urinary system are the kidneys. You have two kidneys. Your kidneys are located in your back, below your ribs, one on each side of your spine. They clean the blood, so next to in your notes next to kidneys, they clean the blood. They also, as they do so, excrete waste called urine. Inside each kidney are more than 1 million microscopic filters, and I'll show you those. They're called nephrons. And here's the picture of the kidney that you had to fill in the blanks. You'll notice, first of all, the kidney is kind of bean-shaped, like a lima bean. I would assume it'd be a little bit smaller than the size of your fist, each one. And this would be a picture of a kidney cut in half. So you're seeing the inside of the kidney right here. And there's several parts to it. And I'm going to draw up on the screen what I want to show you. All right, so first, blood is going to enter the kidney through this artery on the top here. It's called the renal artery. Renal is an adjective that's associated with the kidney. So if you've ever heard the term renal, it has something to do with the kidney or the urinary system. So blood enters in this unfiltered blood, enters through this artery here. And then you can see that artery branches off. And what do we call the little tiny microscopic blood vessels?
Nephrons.
Capillaries. It branches into these tiny capillaries, and these capillaries will encompass the outside border of the kidney. It does that so that they can reach the nephrons. Use a different color here to highlight the nephron they're showing on the top of the page. It's coiled. It goes down and then up and then down. It's kind of like a coiled bobby pin, sort of. But the reason it goes up and down is to generate a difference of height. It has something to do with gravity and like other physical properties that help the nephron determine what needs to go into the urine and what needs to stay in the blood. So the shape of the nephron is a major reason how it works, how this filtering works. There's also some hormones in the blood too to help with this, but a lot of it has to do with the shape of this nephron, and there's some diffusion going on between the nephron and the capillaries, lets things in and out. So what's one thing in your blood that would be filtered out?
Iron.
I don't think you're supposed to have iron in your urine. I'm not sure.
I was about to say urine.
Okay, yeah. There's going to be water in your urine. Maybe I should maybe finish showing you the picture before we move on. So the urine, along with the waste products, including water, it's going to collect in this middle part here. See, I'm shading it green. Okay, then it's going to go down the ureter. And what's the next stop after the ureter?
Toilet.
You have a couple more places it goes in your body before it goes to the toilet.
Gold? No.
Where's urine stored?
Bladder.
Your bladder fills with urine. So the next stop is the bladder. Okay, and then it doesn't show you the bladder on this picture. It also doesn't show you, sorry, it doesn't also show you the urethra. The urethra is the tube after the bladder where the urine exits the body. So, and then all the other blood that's been filtered. So the filtered blood that is now, it's got the right amounts of stuff in it, which we'll go back to, is now going to leave the kidney and it's going to go back to the heart.
Wait, what?
That blood,
Oh, that blood.
the blood, so the urine I made green, the blood is this yellow. That's going to go back to the heart. It's going to be pumped back throughout the body. And we're going to review the blood here in just a moment. So that's where that's going to go. What else do you think is in the urine besides water?
Maybe if you took a medicine that has a slight amount of alcohol in it, it might have alcohol in it. Or if it's an adult and you're drunk a little.
Let's talk about regular people who aren't.
Drunk a little. Salt.
Okay, there's going to be salt. The oxygen and carbon dioxide enter and leave your body through what? The lungs. Okay.
Glucose.
Yeah, there's going to be some sugars.
Is glucose sugar?
Yep, glucose is sugar.
I was actually wondering.
Okay. And then sometimes there's actually some blood in the urine. There's not really supposed to be, but sometimes there's blood in the urine. So there's water, salt, sugar, blood. Sometimes there's proteins in the urine too. Those are some of the things that the kidneys remove from your blood. So if you've got too much water, it removes extra water. Too much salt, it gets rid of it. Too much stuff, it gets rid of it. So another thing slightly related to this, and I'll get to this slide in a second, is the color of your urine. You might notice at different points of the day or at different points in your life, you've noticed urine is sometimes different colors. What is the healthy color?
White.
Clear. Okay?
I guess it is clear.
Clear. It would be a healthy color. And then what colors naturally, not purple, what other colors will you start to see? Yellow. Hopefully not red or brown, but you could be if there's blood or if you have an infection. Maybe sometimes orangish. It's kind of hard to tell. Usually we urinate in a toilet where there's already a lot of water that dilutes it down. So why does urine change color? What makes it go from clear to yellow to maybe orange or something?
How much blood's in the urine?
We hope that there's no blood in the urine. That's not a good sign. So you're on the right track. How much water you're drinking? Because you can only have a certain amount of water in your blood. If you have too much, there's a hormone. Oh, that's not this one. This is antidiuretic hormone. But when you have too much water, it's called the diuretic hormone. that will cause more water to leave your kidney. So it tells the nephrons to let more water out of the blood and into your urine, which will dilute your urine. So if you're very well hydrated and your urine is diluted, then it's clear. But when it's undiluted, when it's concentrated, when you're dehydrated, what gives it the color? Like I said earlier, that Taylin was on the right track. Not that there's blood in your urine.
The dead blood cells decaying.
I think you're getting really too specific. I think just the fact that, remember, your urine comes from your blood. So your blood is red. Red blood cells. Okay? So the stuff that makes your blood red will also be in the urine and make that a little bit reddish. So that's why there's a color. Imagine if I were to have a beaker of water here and I put a drop of red food coloring, well, or some kind of a drop of blood, okay? And then I mixed it. You could probably barely see it, but the more blood I would add, the more colored the water would be. It's similar to that. So like I said before, the kidneys are a filter and they filter out stuff from the blood. On here it talks about sweat and thirst. We've talked about sweat before. Another thing that happens, sweating will make you dehydrated and that can make you thirsty. So thirst is actually a response from your nervous system and it sends a message to your brain and it will make your body produce this antidiuretic hormone, which makes you hold in more water and pee out less water. And diuretics make you release more water. Some beverages that you drink that actually don't quench your thirst, they make you more thirsty, would be caffeine, and alcohol would be another one that would it would act as a diuretic and it would cause your kidneys to make more urine and increase the amount of water in your urine. All right, and then I already talked about the bacterial infections in the urinary system, the urinary tract infections. We talked about kidney stones being a salt buildup in the kidneys or the ureters. And then kidney disease is usually a genetic thing where or if there's damage to your nephrons and they don't work like they're supposed to, they don't filter your blood very well. So someone with kidney disease or their kidneys are shutting down might go on dialysis. Has anybody heard of that?
It's probably on a commercial.
So dialysis is when they hook you up to a machine and all of your blood goes to the machine and it filters your blood and then it puts the blood back into your body. And they do that a couple days a week and it takes several hours for that to happen.
That'd be disgusting.
And that's usually temporary until someone were to get a kidney transplant.